Welcome to the jungle, everyone. I'm Kyle Phelps, and I swear I am still alive. Things have been crazy, but I cannot ignore the draft, guys. I know I've missed a bunch. Sheldon Rankins, Trent Brown. My heart hurt badly when they traded Joe Mixon to the Texans, but unfortunately, I also think that was the right move. It sucks, but I think it was. T. Higgins, I don't think he's going anywhere. There's been a lot of offseason topics I've missed, but it's been wild. Unfortunately, the football season stops for no one, and the show must go on. So I figured today I'd throw a little Bengals mock draft at you, and hopefully by Wednesday, I'll have my annual round 1 mock draft for the whole league up. So, let's get into it. We're going to use my favorite mock draft simulator, which is PFF, mostly just because I already have a subscription to their content, and I just have a lot more access to things when I use PFF. So we're going to use that to simulate the picks for all 31 other teams. Turn the randomness up to 35% or so because weird stuff always happens, and there's no way you can accurately predict what the weird things are going to happen are. If I could, I wouldn't be a small-time YouTuber, right? But we're just going to go with this. That way we can kind of have some semblance of what the Bengals' options are going to be. I'm not going to do a ton of trading, although I will do some, because I just don't frankly think that these simulators are usually very accurate with trade values, but you'll see in a few minutes what I'm talking about when I say I want to make one. Alright, so we've started the first round, and pretty much immediately I want to start moving up, right? Things fell pretty nicely for us early on with quarterback and a wide receiver run in the first 11 picks, so really the only guy I'm thinking about at 18 who I get super excited about was Johnny Newton. He went in the first 11 picks, so, pretty much gone. There is another, though, and that's Brock Bowers. Now, I don't think he makes it to 18, and so I'm going to trade up to number 12 with the Denver Broncos, who I think is the most likely team to go get him if he does make it through those first 11 picks. The Bengals have 4 top 100 picks and 10 total picks in the entire draft, so for the right guy, I think they can afford to move up, and to me, Brock Bowers is that guy. So I sent 18 and 80 to the Broncos, and I moved all the way up to 12. Personally, I think that 18 and 97 would work just fine, but Pro Football Focus didn't agree, so I had to make it 80. Either way, it's Bowers at 12. Okay, so in round 2, I was getting really excited, when I saw, maybe not the best tackle prospect in the draft, but I think my favorite tackle prospect in the draft, just because I think there's a chance he could fall to the Bengals' second round pick, and that's Tyler Guyton. I saw him falling well into the 40s. And I was like, we might get him at 49, and then the Raiders took him at 44. So this is why you trade up, by the way, because you don't know who's going to fall and who's not going to fall. So I'm sitting here now at 49, and I'm thinking about maybe trading down now because there's not a lot of defensive backs who I'm really all that interested in, because I really don't want to crowd the Bengals backfield. They have plenty of guys. And there's just a ton of defensive backs available right now. That's what the board basically looks like. Unfortunately, the only teams looking to trade up were the Chiefs at 64 and the Saints all the way down at 150. So I don't really want to move down that far. Florida State big man Keon Coleman is there, and that's not exactly like the number 1 pick that I had for the Bengals in this mock. But he does have that T. Higgins body type, right? He's physical, he wins contested catches, and that's a big deal that the Bengals are going to need, especially if T. Higgins isn't long for being on this team. I think he's going to stick around this year, which is fine for Keon Coleman because that means he's not going to be expected to be a big contributor right away, right? I'd love it if the Bengals could pay T. Higgins, but I also get why they might not want to. So I think Coleman would fit right into the Bengals' plans here, so we're taking him at 49. So the Broncos ended up taking Michael Pratt with pick 80, the pick that we traded to him. And to me, that feels super high. I was thinking about maybe taking him in like the 4th or 5th round if he fell as like Jake Browning's replacement, because obviously we probably aren't going to have that much longer with Jake Browning. I can't imagine Broncos fans that were too happy with him at that pick, with, Pratt and Stidham kind of being their options in 2024. And also Zach Wilson, by the way, which was not the case when I made this mock earlier today, which, by the way, can tell you when I recorded all of this. Zach Wilson, before I started recording, turned out he got traded to the Broncos. So as far as this goes, they got Michael Pratt and Zach Wilson and Jarrett Stidham, and that's their quarterback room. And that cannot feel great if you're a Broncos fan unless you're, hoping for them to tank, which might be what they're doing at this point. But anyway, Bengals. We're here at 97. I was hoping to see Roger Rosengarten here, but no such luck on that one. He went to the Rams at 83. Cooper Beebe is available, and I really like this kid, right? He's got experience at right tackle. He's not necessarily a tackle at the next level because he's not really the most athletic. So he's probably a center or a guard at the next level, but that can still help the Bengals because he's kind of position agnostic, right? He can kind of be that sixth lineman guy, which the Bengals have needed for a while. Somebody who can kind of come in and play whatever position you need him to because he just knows how to do them all. He'd be an excellent pick to throw into the rotation, though, so I'm taking him, and I'm not really thinking twice about it. We got Cooper Beebe at pick number 97. So we're in the 4th round now, and this is where I think the whole trading gets really weird thing kind of kicks in. I don't love the board at this point. So I am going to trade down with the Broncos because I've got a couple of guys that I do like. I just think it's a little early to take them and maximizing value and all that, right? So I'm giving the Broncos 115. And why the Broncos keep being the trade partners, I don't know, but it's what happened. So I'm giving the Broncos 115, and I'm going to throw in 194, which is the 6th round pick, and 237, which is the late 7th, so that I can get pick number 121 and pick number 136. So kind of like back-to-back, not back-to-back, but close enough to back-to-back picks right there that, you know, you can get some, I think, talented players. The Broncos ended up taking Cameron Kitchens, which I'm totally fine with because no interest in adding more defensive backs to this already overcrowded room. So y'all can have Cameron Kitchens. He's a great player, but I don't think he'd be a good fit here. Although I gotta say, the Eagles taking Audric Estime at 120 kind of sucks because that's one of the guys I was targeting. I was like, I think it's a little early to take him, and the Eagles were like, no, it's not. So that's basically what happened there. But it's okay. I have a plan. At 121, I'm gonna go with Mekhi Wingo, the defensive tackle out of LSU. I know Tavondre Sweat's there, but with the DWI and everything, I don't see him as a guy that the Bengals, like the Duke Tobin, Zach Taylor Bengals, would really want on their team. I think he's off the board entirely at this point. I mean, maybe not. We could all be surprised, but like he would be the move if it weren't for that. But unfortunately, that did happen. So I think Mekhi Wingo is really the guy that you want to take at this point. They need a DJ Reader replacement. Mekhi Wingo really isn't that, but he can hopefully at least shore up, you know, that other defensive tackle spot and maybe add some run defense and everything, which is what you really are going to miss with DJ Reader, right? Plus, I'd really like to see what Lou Anarumo can do with him. So at 136, I really wanted Caden Wallace out of Penn State, but the damn Jets got him 134, which is stupid, but whatever, that's okay. I needed a tight end. I know I got Brock Bowers earlier, but, you know, I mean, he's more of like a glorified wide receiver, right? I need a true tight end, like somebody who can like pass protect and everything like that. And they have Drew Sample, but I want to add some variety to that room, right? Like I want to keep Drew Sample's been getting better, but I still want to make sure he has that push behind him, some competition. Mike Gesicki was great, but this isn't really about like a, you know, contributing in the passing game type of thing. More of, you know, contributing as, you know, as a blocker, as like, you know, a chess piece and everything like that. I think he could really fit with Darren Simmons there on the special teams too. So we're gonna go with Theo Johnson at pick 136. So we're in the 5th round now, and at pick 149, I feel like it's pretty much now or never at this point. You know, we got to take a tackle at some point in this draft who has a real chance to potentially contribute. And I think the last one left on the board really is Christian Jones out of Texas. He's got some coachable technique issues. I mean, they're technique issues. They're a problem, but they're coachable, I think. You know, and if he can sit behind a guy like Trent Brown, I think he can work through them and get better. In some ways, this guy reminds me of Cedric Ogbuehi, but don't... Stop. Do not call the police on me, Bengals fans. I know what you're thinking when I say Cedric Ogbuehi. But don't forget we're in the 5th round. I think Cedric Ogbuehi, people would have been fine with Cedric Ogbuehi if we'd picked him in the 5th round, you know. With Trent Brown in tow at right tackle, I think you can afford to develop Jones. Not throw him in right away in the fire, you know. Give him some time to, like, you know, learn from some NFL coaches and see what he can do. I think he can turn into a starter if you can fix some of those issues, so I'm going to put a stamp on this one. Alright, so we're in round 6 now. We're at pick 214, and oddly enough, I'm kind of hyped about this 6th round draft pick. I was a little disappointed to not see Alabama edge defender Justin Aboibe here, but that's all good because we got Washington running back Dillon Johnson right there for the taking. And I think Dillon Johnson's super underrated, guys. I really do. He's a solid pass protector, which the Bengals, haven't really had a whole lot from the running back position for a while. Plus, I think he, in the running game, he could really complement Chase Brown's athleticism. So for me, I think this one is a slam dunk, or as close as you can get to that in the 6th round, right? You got that thunder and lightning duo now, at least as far as the future goes. You got Chase Brown, the lightning quick, athletic type of player, and you got Dillon Johnson, who's that power back. And I know you got Zach Moss right now, but who knows what the long-term plan with Zach Moss is. So I think Dillon Johnson is going to be a really good pickup here in the 6th round. Hey guys, this is Future Kyle hopping in, just at this point, letting you know that for some god-awful reason, the Bengals chose in between me recording this video last night and actually editing this video, getting to the editing process now, to re-sign Jake Browning to a 2-year contract, which is great. I love Jake Browning. I'm happy for Jake Browning. He's going to be here for a few more years. That's cool with me, right? But maybe we're also not thinking about taking a quarterback now, right? If you're going to be taking a backup quarterback, if you're going to be investing a pick in that, you want to have somebody who's going to be contributing from their rookie contract on, right? And if Jake Browning's here for another 2 years, then he's going to be the guy for another 2 years, right? So instead of Joe Milton, who we just picked with the 7th round, the final pick of the entire draft, I don't know. I don't even remember who was available at this point. This is the problem. I saved what the Bengals picks are, but I do not remember what the other picks are, or who was available when the Bengals picked. So I'll just say, I think Delmar Glaze out of Maryland was available. I think he'd be a good pick. He's a long-time starting tackle for them who has a ton of snaps at both left and right tackle. So we didn't really get one of the blue chip guys, or even one of the decent 2nd or 3rd round guys earlier in the draft. We had to take a tackle in the 6th round just because of the way the draft fell. So maybe take another guy in the 7th round. Delmar Glaze, he's somebody, I don't really see him being a starter at any point, but I think he's got enough experience and, enough coachability that he could be a decent backup in the league. You're going to have Christian Jones, who's going to be the guy who could potentially develop into your post-Trent Brown starter. And then you're going to have Delmar Glaze as, somebody who can maybe shore up that other position, because at this point, Jackson Carman's a bust. Deontay Smith, I don't think, has really earned pretty much any sort of spot at this point. I think the coaching staff might be looking for life after him. See what Delmar Glaze can bring you. And if not, then, it's the final pick of the 7th round, I almost considered taking a punter, but I also understand why people are don't draft a punter, just because of the way contracts work and everything like that. So, but that's neither here nor there. We're changing the last pick to Delmar Glaze, and I'm going to do a really cool graphic that's definitely going to look very professional as far as that goes. So that's what we're doing, Delmar Glaze with the final pick. All right, so one more time, here's a list of what I would do if I'm the Bengals, and if the board actually fell like this, like the PFF simulator seems to think, right? By the way, just to let all y'all know what's been going on, for those of you who already follow my channel, many of you already know this, but I went back to school to kind of double down on the digital media skills that I've been building for the last few years, so unfortunately, I just haven't really had a whole lot of time for the channel. It sucks, but I think I'm doing a lot of stuff in school right now that's going to ultimately help with the channel. So I do apologize for the absence, but trust me, I'm learning a lot of cool stuff, and I'm meeting a lot of cool people along the way too, who I think maybe could contribute to the channel long term. Like this video right now is being edited together by a guy I met at school named Boeskool, and might be other stuff going on with the channel with him in the future as well. But I'm going to link his channel down below. Go subscribe to him. He's definitely, one of the hardest working classmates I have, and he puts out good work. So I really appreciate him for editing this video together, and yeah, so shout out to him. So just bear with me for now. I'm at the very least going to try to live stream Bengals games this upcoming season, and I'm going to try to find some time to put some videos out, but I have another year left of school, right? So I don't know exactly what's coming. Nothing concrete yet, though, so, we'll try to figure something out. But like I said, that's a few months in the future anyway. I'm actually going to be in England next month, so I'm not going to be putting anything out while that's going on, right? But for now, I appreciate y'all sticking with me, and honestly, I find it fascinating that people like this show enough to ask after me at all, right? I've had a few of you just reach out to me and be like, "Hey, where's the content?" I'm like, "Oh, sorry, I'm busy." But just the fact that y'all are asking at all is, honestly flattering to me. I think it's really cool. But until next time, y'all can always catch more of what I do at Kyle Phelps 92 on X. It's wild to me that he really renamed Twitter to X. That's Elon Musk. You're a special human being, bro. Facebook.com/The Phelps. The Battle of Ohio podcast, which is on its own hiatus right now for very, very similar reasons. And right here, if you subscribe. Now look, mock drafts are stupid. Like, they just are, frankly. Nobody knows what's going to happen, and even if you know some of what's going to happen, you have no idea what every single team is going to do. And once you get one pick wrong, then they're all wrong, right? Like, because like once one thing doesn't go the way you're thinking it's going to go, then suddenly the board's different, and every pick after that's just going to be wronger and wronger and wronger. So mock drafts are dumb, but they're also fun, and they're a way for us to kind of see what our options are, for fans of whatever team you are, and it's something to do in the off season when there's no football to watch, right? So let's have some fun with it. But like I said, that's all I've got, so I'll leave y'all, as always, with a hoo-day!